place in town to take a leak.
It's a bully, but we aren't afraid of a fight. It's elusive, but our focus never fades. It's deadly, but we were born to defeat cancer. You may not have heard of us, but our work has helped millions impacted by cancer. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. We are leaders in advancing breakthroughs in immunotherapy, genomics, and personalized medicine. This research saves lives. After 65 years of fighting blood cancers, we've arrived at a game-changing belief. The cures for cancer are in our blood. The drugs and treatments we've developed for blood cancers have helped people affected by many different types of cancers. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Beating cancer is in our blood. Learn more at LLS.org.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida. And now, the Gulf Coast's newest sports talk host.
Hey, there's the new guy.
Paul Wilson.
That is not winning football.
Paul is your pipeline to the heart of the action.
The defense can only play this good for so long.
Hot takes, big reactions, and your calls are incoming.
This week, it's really going to be crucial.
The Sports Blitz.
They're playing championship football.
The new Sports Blitz.
You can say what you want.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's 4 o'clock on a Tuesday, and you're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN in Northwest Florida. We're so glad to have you, yes, you, right here at the CBC Construction Studio at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You want to be a part of the show? You can be. All you got to do is call in, text in on the Red 70s phone line, 850-215-6290. You can also find us on Facebook, and you can comment there, and we will talk back to you, and especially if you disagree with Jeffrey. Speaking of Jeffrey, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. You
look like you got you a good nap, and you're ready to go.
It was like 20 minutes. It was nothing.
Well, that was good.
Cat nap.
And as always, on a Tuesday, we got the Bone Crusher back, handing out the ones and the twos. How you doing, Bone Crusher?
Yeah. Tonight, 8 o'clock tip-off, Gators, UConn, right here.
Yeah, and the thing is that UConn, they had a little dynasty going on for a minute. They're back-to-back championships, and Dan Hurley got too big for his britches, so hopefully the Gators put him where he deserves on his backside tonight, 8 o'clock, right after the show.
You got a side team.
I don't know about all that. I just know I don't like UConn. I don't like the Hurleys, and we can move on from that if you'd like, unless you like the Hurleys. You like the Hurleys? Danny and Bobby from up north.
I mean, Bobby, I like Bobby.
Bobby was a scrappy player.
He was a scrappy player. I mean, he was undersized, but he had skills.
And he played really good in the NBA, but he got in that car wreck, and that did mess him up.
That was sad.
You know, him and Jason Williams both had a promising NBA career, and both of them was derailed by car wrecks, which Jason Williams, his was a motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
But other than that,
That's a shame. I mean, there's been other players.
Of course.
Football players. I think it was a Steelers guy. Trying to remember what happened with that in the 80s and all that, and he got in a car accident right after he got drafted and everything, and just like paralyzed from the waist down. And it's really sad like that. Boating accidents with baseball pitchers.
Yeah.
I mean,
And one accident that we cannot talk about.
Oh, no.
That we need to talk about today, and that is Phillip Rivers, 44 years old, signing with the Indianapolis Colts. It's not just a whatever. It's actually happening. Phillip Rivers is in Indianapolis right now, signed up. Guess what he did? passed the physical, 44 years old. And he's
44.
signed to the practice squad. He absolutely is signed.
Did you see the reaction on ESPN?
I did.
The guys, oh my God, they were like bewildered.
But let me tell you this: do you know the reason why they're having to sign Phillip Rivers?
Well, the ankle of Daniel Jones,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but before that,
there's another player. Which one is it?
Anthony Richardson
yeah.
was working out in the gym with the rubber bands.
Yeah.
And accidentally hit himself in the face with the rubber bands, and he broke his orbital bone. So he's out for the year.
Oh, wow.
And so now you've got a 44-year-old quarterback coming back to the NFL.
So the lesson is, kids don't play with them rubber bands.
Don't use rubber bands. That's what they tell you.
Have you ever used them?
Yes.
Oh.
I have. I've used rubber bands before, but I've never hit myself in the face with them. At least I tried not to. And there's, obviously, I don't know. I mean, you've seen Anthony Richardson. He is a specimen.
Oh, yeah, he's a big guy.
He's a big guy. So, I don't know what all happened, but that's unfortunate for him.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. We've got to dive into this Phillip Rivers deal.
So wait a minute. Let me just ask one question right off the top, right? Jacksonville, man. Are they going to steal this division from the Colts? Because it was the Colts at one point.
Yeah, but I told you that Jacksonville at the beginning of the season was going to win the division.
That's
and you
crazy.
laughed at me.
Yeah, I probably did.
You laughed at me.
Well, there's a lot of laughing going on because we got Patriots. You would have told me the Patriots won the division. I would have laughed at you again.
Yeah, you laughed at me about the Jaguars because I said, I believe in Liam Cohen. And you were like, oh, he's from Kentucky, blah, 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 blah. Remember that?
Yeah. And then the Broncos are pretty surprising. Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of surprises this year.
Big-time surprises and a lot of disappointments. Chiefs,
the
Ravens,
Eagles are sliding, and they slid a little bit last night again. But it was against a tough team, and it was close. Mm-hmm. But
it's going to be serious.
I mean, if we gave out surprises, it definitely would be. Colts would be top 5 easy. Seahawks would be in there for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and Broncos and Patriots.
Jaguars and Patriots.
The 5th team, I guess it would be the Jaguars.
Has to be.
Yeah.
And the bottom 5 would be the surprise descent of the Ravens, the Chiefs, even the Eagles as of late. The Cowboys.
That's the thing. You're blowing them up, and they're 8-5. They're going to the playoffs.
They're going to go to the playoffs.
They are, yeah.
But they're going to the playoffs.
It's a different kind of disappointment.
Yeah, because they returned to everybody.
Yeah. And
they were Super Bowl champs by far last year.
Yeah. I'm going to have to slide in a team in there.
The Lions.
No, I'm not really. No, I really didn't think that I don't know. I thought the Lions are, the first team out right now?
Yes.
There's potential there. The Vikings are about to get eliminated. And I didn't really have the Vikings making the playoffs, but I thought they'd be in the hunt.
Thought they'd be better.
And what are they, 5-8?
Bad quarterback play.
Yeah, 5-8. I'm not. I would have said at this point definitely 7-6.
Yeah, for sure,
but not 5-8.
Let's talk about this Phillip Rivers thing because it brings a broader question. We're not going to talk about the NFL as much, but this is the question that it's going to bring up because you got to think about it.
Yeah.
What on earth are we doing in college football to the fact that we've got to bring a 44-year-old quarterback back to the NFL to actually play because there's no other quarterbacks that you could have called that could have come in and played under your system? It lends me to the fact that the state of the college football is not developing quarterbacks. They're developing wins and losses and pushing you out of the way. And that's the case. Where are all of these quarterbacks that breaks all the records? What about the numbers? The numbers are as high as they've ever been. There's all these numbers in college about these quarterbacks. Everybody can throw. Everybody runs this offense. You should be able to translate, but we're not seeing translation from the college game to the pro game in the regards of the quarterback position. And so having to bring a Phillip Rivers, I mean, do you really, Phillip Rivers is 44 years old.
I know.
He's a high school football coach.
So now you're telling me the quarterback has to have, mechanics and all that, but it has to have this. So it's two different things I'm thinking about with this whole being older and everything, and
you have a lot to say about being older because you are.
I am. I mean, look, if I try and run against somebody who's young, yeah.
It's not the same.
I mean, a linebacker comes after me or a defensive end? No, I'm giving up. I mean, I can run a 5K, but don't expect me to get any, 10-mile thing or anything under my belt right now. It ain't happening.
Right. And I understand that.
Yeah. I mean, as you get older, you just don't stay in that rhythm and everything. And,
no.
It's not I'm falling apart or anything like that. It's just that I just don't have the ability to do all that. But
nobody does.
So there's two things. Okay, so answer this. Is it the fact that it's the brain power is not there? You're laughing. But these are jocks.
It's hard.
These are jocks.
I don't know.
You're laughing. Is it that? Or is it the work ethic to try and sit down and learn the playbook and understand if this guy does this, you do this?
Okay, we've got two questions that you've asked me. Okay, we're graduating more players in college than we ever have before. So are they graduating for real, or are we faking with these papers?
They're faking.
Okay, so that answers your first part.
Yeah.
Right? So then your second part is that Gruden sits and has all these quarterbacks that every year comes in and he sits there and he quizzes them and shows them on the board and shows them this and shows them that. Why aren't we having the productivity? Because outside of Mac Jones, in the NFL right now, no other quarterback has came in and done a serviceable job winning ball games. Because even if you look at Joe Flacco was brought in, he won one or two, and then he started losing. Then the starter comes back. So are you telling me that all of these teams that we have in the NFL, with all of these college teams every year that we have the graduating, declaring for the NFL draft, that we cannot have two quarterbacks in our possession that can run our offense and serviceable win ball games? Because that's exactly what they don't have. Because if you look at it, as soon as Phillip Rivers got through with his high school playoffs, now they're asking 44-year-old Phillip Rivers to come back and play. Another instance, Troy Aikman, not recently, but a long time ago, after he retired, 4 or 5 years later, teams were still coming back. I get it. These guys are
Tom
smart.
Brady.
They're brilliant. They know how to read defenses. They know what to look for. They know where they are. But where are the young guys that are coming out of college that they're not coming into the NFL ready to play? Look at Cam Ward.
Maybe, okay. I think the reason why Drew Brees went to Purdue is because he could start and he could develop, and it wouldn't be as much competition as if he went to school in Texas. Right?
Yes.
Okay. I think there's too many players getting tested out at too many different schools. And also, I think that they're looking at a guy, and I'm 6'3". Just because I'm 6'3", does it make me a good quarterback? No. They're looking for the prototype, 6'3" or 6'4". They can see over the line, got long arms. They have physical abilities, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, why are we going for this prototype over and over and over again? And I know, sure, 5'8", 5'9", quarterbacks don't usually pan out. There's no Doug Flutie's out there and all that.
But Doug Flutie wasn't even a Doug Flutie. Doug Flutie wasn't great in the NFL. He was good in college. He wasn't great, and he didn't take teams to the playoff and win playoff games.
Was Jim Harbaugh 6 foot flat?
He's 6'1".
I think he's 6 foot, and he went to an AFC Championship game.
Right.
I mean,
but
I think we're looking at too many 6'3", 6'4" guys. Their intelligence level, they got to hit the books. They got to learn it. And we're giving too many people options. Well, if you get a player who gets 3 years of starting in college, he has a chance to develop. But when they keep on changing up, and then there's injuries also that's stopping people's career, I think there's so many different reasons why we're having to go back to a 44-year-old.
The vanilla offenses of the college programs are the problem.
Okay.
There's no possible way whenever you're giving 1 and 2 reads and that's it instead of knowing exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because you've got these kids coming out of high school that are wanting to play right off the bat. And if you don't play me, then I'm going to transfer and get another $1 million from somebody else.
Yeah.
And so what happens is we have all of this. Now, we can't just blame it on that. We do have to blame it on there is a coaching carousel that happens with offensive coordinators as well that hurts them.
Yeah.
But also leaving colleges, going from one college, going to the other college. Because if you look at Cam Ward right now, he was what college football kind of has begun to be. He come out as a no-star. He goes to a smaller school, gets recognized, goes to another school, gets recognized, goes to another school, #1 draft pick. And now we really don't know if he really is a good quarterback or if it was the system that he was in, which is not a complicated system. And now he's looking like he does not know what to do in the NFL system. And so that's why he struggled this year so far, even on his...
Cam Ward's at the Bears.
No, Cam Ward is with the Titans.
Oh, well, the Titans are horrible, though.
Yeah, but...
It's all the people around him, too. I mean, you have to... The Bears have had quarterbacks that have been decent, halfway decent, and they just couldn't put 5 wins together because the team around them. And now the Bears have all these weapons, so... Yeah,
but I think it's a slap. Yeah, that's your thing. I think it's a slap to the coaches that are in college football because #1, we've pushed it to it's got to be a win now situation. Yeah, we got the 12-team playoff, but if you don't make the playoff, who cares? We were trying to win. Yeah. We want to win football games now. And which Coach Tommy Joe Whidden, when we've had him in here, he's talked about that the player development is not happening. And with them signing these one-year deals, and you have to treat them with kid gloves, and you have to love on them, and you have to tell them, this, that, or the other, then you've got all of these quarterbacks that don't know how to read the safety, doesn't know how to read doesn't know how to look off the safety, doesn't know when to change it from a pass to a run because the coach does that for them. I think the worst thing they could have done is put the speakers into the headsets.
Oh, yeah. They don't have to think.
They don't have to think because the coach does that for them. Now, I know they cut it off at a certain time, but if they get in their sets, they tell them stuff immediately, and I think it hamstrings them in the end.
But also, you know what I also do not like about football and how it's changed? Oh, yeah, I used to run a post pattern. You run 10 yards up, 5 across, like at an angle, right? And then all the way across the field. Nobody's running that anymore. They're running like a little slant in, especially tight ends. And then, of course, the flat. The 10 yards up and out or 7 yards and out in the flat. Oh, my God, that's like a bread and butter play for most of these teams right now. The play, the route running has changed. The pass selection has changed. Nobody's running a fly anymore unless you're Oregon, right?
Yeah, everybody was back shoulders.
We've changed and we've simplified it so you don't have to be in the pocket or for too long and get rid of the ball. And there's less chance of you getting somebody getting an interception on you because you shorten the field up. So then you're picking away at 7-yard gains and all that, and you get 2 of them, you get a first down.
Well, they marvel at the fact of how quick a quarterback releases the ball or gets rid of the ball, and that is something that they marvel in. They say, "Oh, this guy gets rid of the ball so quick." Yeah, but. You're
not getting the first down in one play.
Right. Your good quarterbacks throw people open. They throw you open. They don't throw to a spot. And I think there's so many times that these quarterbacks and we've got more coaches, more analysts, more, people around. We got all of the computer analysts, everything showing you this, showing you that. But what is it doing? It's dumbing our quarterbacks down to where they can't run that NFL system. And it's like jibber jabbers. When you look at watching the Netflix show Quarterback, and you hear where Joe Burrow, you hear where Kirk Cousins starts telling you how complicated and how they have to study and how they have to do this and how they have to do that. You realize how hard it is. It is not something that's easy. Yeah. And then what happens is you see a Heisman Trophy candidate like Johnny Manziel, who comes in and he learned a system at Texas A&M, and he learned that system, and he knew that system, and you couldn't tell him anything, and so he couldn't understand the playbook. Yeah, it was the Browns, but he couldn't understand the playbook enough, and he couldn't get it, so you wouldn't really know what's going on, and so now he finds himself out of the NFL. The quarterbacks that are coming up for the Heisman, or the top quarterbacks for this year's college football, Mendoza, Mateer, Simpson, Sayin, are all of those guys going to be able to rationalize and be able to really be a quarterback? Because this is a slap in the face of every quarterback that has been drafted or signed as a free agent in the NFL in the last year and a half, because either they don't trust you, because it's not the same coaching staff that Phillip Rivers knew back whenever he went to the Colts for that one season.
Yeah.
It's not the same guys. These are totally different guys.
Yeah.
He doesn't know their playbook, but he knows the NFL game. He knows what he's looking at when he comes to the center. He knows what this and this and this and what that is.
Joe Flacco knows.
And Joe Flacco knows. Tom Brady knew. These guys that stayed later, Ben Roethlisberger. But what happened to those guys? Their bodies started failing them, and they couldn't escape, like what you were talking about earlier. But their brain knew the game.
Yep.
We're not sending guys to the NFL that know the game.
Yeah.
They're having to double it down. Now, I get it, but what is it that's causing this? It's causing this. They got to win now because they're firing coaches.
Yeah.
If you don't win now with the recruits that you have, don't develop them. Don't build for next year because he can't get it right. Let's try to win now with dumbing it down and making it easy.
And I wouldn't be against the fact that there's position coaches out there that not just dumb it down, but they micromanage.
Yeah.
Because they don't want the turnovers, because they know turnovers matter.
Yeah. Well, and if, and we've talked about this for the Alabama team specifically, it's like they wait till the last second of the play clock to call the play because they're waiting for the right play to go against the defense that they're set in.
Oh, yeah.
And that right there.
Isn't that crazy? Where's the confidence that, they can't stop us no matter what we're doing? We're going to do this, and they're going to have to adjust to us. And if they make the right adjustment, we'll just go to the next play. And we're that good that we can just bulldoze over them,
But I think you're right. I think what you brought in with it is the fact that we micromanage the game so much. But who are the quarterbacks that are coming in that are having success? It seems like the quarterbacks that stayed in college longer. Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young. Even though those guys left early.
Did Bryce Young go to multiple schools?
No, just went to Alabama.
He's the only one that did.
He sat behind Mac Jones.
I don't even know Drake May was at different universities either.
He stayed at UNC the whole time.
Yeah. Well, these other ones, they moved around. They learned different systems. They had to use their brain and adapt and change and evolve.
Caleb Williams went with his coach, used the same system from Oklahoma to USC. But that's the deal. Even Bryce Young struggled in the beginning, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's hard. Caleb Williams struggled in the beginning, got a new offensive coordinator trying to learn. And they talked about this openly, that he had to dumb it down for Caleb to understand that we're not just playing backyard football. Because if you watch a college game, it turns into backyard football when the quarterback gets outside of the pocket.
Oh, yeah.
And if you do that in the NFL, you won't do it much longer because they're going to be so fast on you because they always got somebody watching the quarterback for the most part.
Josh Allen is probably the only Mountain West quarterback that's really panned out.
Yeah.
And that's like backyard football sometimes, especially the passing game. And they pass a lot.
Yeah.
You would think they would learn something from all the passing they do, but they don't pan out in the pros.
No.
None of them.
No. Well, I just am shocked about it. We're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we're going to discuss a little bit more about the conference championships. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Red 70s studio line is now open. 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show.
The folks out there who are Chiefs fatigued,
and there's a lot of you out there, I know. For those of you out there who have been waiting for the Chiefs to finally stumble and not get up, well, guess what? The first alert, Kansas City Chiefs have arrived. They have fallen, and I don't know if they're going to be able to get up.
It's the Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Tuesday. Clear the remainder of the day with a wind around 7 miles per hour out of the north and 56. Tonight, look for a very light wind and clear skies with a temperature near 45. Tomorrow, high around 67 and sunshine with a wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, quite warm with a high of 60 and sunshine. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hi, folks. It's Tracy from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Santa called and he asked me to help everyone get ready for Christmas and avoid the stress and rush. So we've stocked the store with all of our favorite pieces of gold jewelry, chains, bracelets, pendants, and earrings. Whatever you're looking for, Tracy's Fine Jewelry has the largest selection and the best prices in town. Looking for a curb chain for Dad? Tracy's has it. A gold cross for your sister? Tracy's has it. Even those white gold hoop earrings? Yep, that's right, folks. Tracy's has it. So shop where Santa shops. Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
The rack. Layup good and one. Top of the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. This is the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, you got it. To the rack. Ducks it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Tonight, it's the Gators versus UConn. Tip off at 8 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
If you build it, they will come. We're live from the CBC Construction Studios. Karen bought 83 liters of Dr. Thunder, a suitcase full of Cheez-Its, and a drum of Crisco. Now she's crying about using the self-check at Walmart.
Maybe we should speak to a manager or something.
Just saying. ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Sports Blitz.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're so glad that you joined us today, whether you're listening on the radio, Facebook, YouTube, or the ESPN Northwest Florida app. We appreciate it. You can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. I will go to the Red 7T's phone line on the text line. Someone said Jackson Dart. And,
oh, yeah.
And, yeah, I agree with you. Jackson Dart seems like he's understanding it. It seems like, but, you know, having to teach him how to not take hits, that's one of the things that they brought up. So, you know, that's one of the things that you have to learn, too, as being a quarterback. Yes, you want to get that extra yard and all that, but there is smarts of understanding, you know, that deal. And I get it. And I see you texted. He texted again. He said he ain't playing soccer. And I understand. But when he's got a concussion, he ain't playing nothing.
Oh, no.
That's the deal. And so, yeah, I agree with you. I'm with you. You know, he's one of those guys. But, you know, he come from, you know, Kiffin, and then he come to DeBall. And, you know, I mean, it's time still – he's still got time on his hands to see whether or not he's going to be one of the ones that make it out. But college football has really done us a disservice, I think, for that.
I'm blanking out on that running back's name who got hurt that came from Arizona State to the Giants. Scadaboo, yeah.
Yeah.
That guy's out there playing rugby. And he's going to get hurt. And that's not good for that team. And that team is missing a few pieces. The Giants are missing pieces. And everybody who showed confidence in them, I was kind of like, I don't know, man.
I was one of them.
Jackson Dart is coming along. He's definitely playing better than what I thought, but they still have the same record that I thought that they would have at this point. So I don't want to say that, show me wins, but Jackson Dart is definitely doing better than what I thought. And I saw him in person twice at Vaught Hemingway Stadium in Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. So ask me if I was impressed.
Were you?
The first time, absolutely not. I thought he was horrible, but they kept on having him hand the ball off all day long,
Yeah.
And then the second time I saw him, he hung like 54 points on LSU.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was impressive for sure.
Well, the person on the line's name's Waylon, and we appreciate you calling Waylon. And yes, you were right. He said, "I told you Kiffin wasn't going to." He made some compliments of Florida's school. So,
okay.
But yeah, he's a hottie toddy. So either way,
he's a hottie toddy.
Yeah, so he's pretty. I think you'd have to let us know. Maybe you could call in, Waylon. I don't know if you're excited about Pete Golden era or not, but either way,
I'm not. I'll tell you right now, and I got to talk to my daughter. I'm going to go see her this week, and she's having her 22nd birthday, and she's an Ole Miss.
Happy birthday!
She's an Ole Miss student. And I'm going to talk to her about everything because she will tell me because she goes to the games,
See if everybody's really happy about it.
Yeah, and get a gauge on. It's funny, we never ask the girls what they think, but my daughter knows because, trust me, she plays fantasy football and all.
Yeah, well, that'll be curious to see what happens. We're going to go ahead and take the next one on the line. We've got, I don't know who Bone Crusher's going to go with. Are we going to go with Ed? Ed, how you doing today, buddy?
What's up, Paul? What's up, Jeff?
Hey.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Having a great time. What's happening with you, buddy?
Not much, man. Y'all state is doing some good justice in about an hour, so half an hour, I guess, from y'all. So, congrats. Thanks for the state of Florida doing what y'all are doing later in about an hour. So, I appreciate that. And then my question for today is, man, I'm wondering if we're paying these coaches and everyone else too much money.
Well, you can't control it because we're not a communist country. Seriously, and we've already broken the courts open. We already broke the courts open and said that we can pay these players. Can you do a price control on these players? Probably not. This is a free enterprise. We have freedom here in the United States, so it's. I don't think you should gauge it about what school, you go to, you get paid more money, or how many starts you have, because then they'll get really petty with all these players and how much they make. And if they don't get starts, then they don't get paid. So this is.
Go ahead.
No. I mean, and the coaches, sure, the money's been climbing. What I don't agree with is guaranteed money. That's what I don't agree with. I think if you play a certain amount of games and you leave the school, you don't get the full money for the whole year. And there's a player that everybody's looking for right now at Oregon who's a defensive back at Oregon who just left the team before the playoffs. And it's like, well, don't give him the whole money that he's earned for the whole year. And forget asking for this money back. You shouldn't have given him the whole money when the season's not even over with.
Okay. I'm just seeing it as like, I just remember, God, I'm so old, but I remember like where it was like you played to get notoriety. You played to get your name out there, to get your stats up, for people to check you out so you went to the next level. That was the goal. It wasn't like, hey, I'm just going to get in here, get the hell, make what I can, get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree with Jeffrey. There's nothing really we can do about that, but except for get some kind of cap on it, and maybe that might be the only way where you have to spread it out enough, and you can't just overload your program like what Texas Tech has done this year.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy, man.
So the most you can play in a season is 17. I say split into 16 different payments, and then, if season's over with, you get the rest of the money that you had at staying there for a whole year.
I got one more question for y'all real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, last thing I want to know is, do y'all truly believe in the maybe next decade or so, we're going to have one of these small universities that are going to come up big and make a big move and possibly play for a national championship or win it, possibly?
No. The big will always stay big. It's especially if they're paying, because the ones that were paying before, they're paying now, and they're going to pay later.
I mean, how small are you talking? Are you talking about a Cincinnati or a TCU or a San Diego State?
Kinda, yeah, that's kind of what I'm at on that one.
No.
Yeah. I think they'll make it to the Final Four, though.
No.
I don't think a national championship, though. There's too many tiers. Now you got, like, multiple rounds now. It's harder.
Well, I appreciate calling in, guys. We'll holler back at you, all right?
All right, Ed, thank you for the call. We're going to go straight to the next line. We got Waylon on the phone. All right, Waylon, how you doing, my man? Waylon, are you there, my friend?
Oh, I am. What's up?
What's happening, buddy? Give us some hotty-toddy. What's going on with Golden? Tell us.
Man, so I like the guy, right? I thought it was a knee-jerk response at first, right? To be honest with you, kind of like the Matt Luke whole situation.
Yep.
But we kind of had to, right, to save face, make the playoff, keep, and I think and so after reading some things and seeing our AD talk and speak, it was always given that the assistants were going to come back and coach the playoffs, which I believe that guy. That guy's stand up. But Pete Golding is a homer. Like, he is Ole Miss was his dream job. He was he was a DC at Alabama for I think 4 seasons. He's been around, dude. The guy's a winner. But he's just one of those good old boys. I'm from the Mississippi Delta, and he's from Louisiana, but his wife's from Mississippi. Like, he's just that dude that, bro, I sent my brother, who's a diehard Mississippi State fan, God bless him, the interview with Golden, and I was like, I don't know if you would suit up for this guy or not. So he texted me back and goes, I'd play for Ole Miss right now. I'm like, so, because my brother and I both played football, and so it's like, and so today it was announced we hired the East Carolina offensive coordinator.
Baker.
So I looked that up, and that guy is good, right? So I think it's kind of it's not a Kiffin thing, but it's a plug and play. It's kind of, I think Ole Miss, we're tired of being a little brother, and I kind of hope we got ahead of the NIL. We got some donors. We got some money. And I hope we kind of bite it, man. I hope we kind of just chew on this thing and go after it. What do we got to lose? You know what I mean? It's like what I told you last week, dude. Kitten's a jerk. I don't like that guy. I appreciate what he did for Ole Miss, but, dude, the way he strung y'all along, the way he strung us along, and then come to find out he was talking to Florida State as well. It's like, dude, you're so dirty. Like, and now all of his little tweets and his DMs are coming out with all the Ole Miss students. Like, you're just a shady cat, bro. Good luck in LSU. Because it smells horrible down there. It's just I hate them. God, I hate those Tigers. I don't like purple. I don't like gold.
Me either.
Oh, I really don't like them now.
Yeah, me either. You're exactly right. The thing about Golden is, for me, I wasn't a big fan of him. I trusted in what Coach Saban said, and so I believe Ole Miss did what they had to do. I agree with you 100%. There wasn't a lot of coaches out there. What are they going to do? Go get a G5 coach as well, to try to one-up everybody else? And then who are you going to get? Because everybody else, all the winners are already gone. I mean, so really, they could do what they could do. They're going to see what they got with him. They're going to hire, like they did today, the coordinator from East Carolina, and try to put it together. And I mean, realistically, when you look at it, Ole Miss, this is the best they've ever done. So I mean, you're in a good situation. They're going to spend some money. You could probably get some people if they buy in, make a nice little run. Maybe if you could upset Georgia, that would be the biggest thing for him for next year.
Right. Yeah.
Because that would be
if we do upset Georgia after that, it's emotionally, I think we're spun, right? We're done. Whoever we play after that, it'll be bad.
Yeah. I mean, because you're not supposed to. You lose Kiffin, and that's just not what's supposed to happen. But if you can, or at least put up a fight and have run Georgia to the fourth quarter and make them kick a field goal or something like that, how much will that help his being able to recruit for this year and the years to come? Because everybody's looked at as Ole Miss as just Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Also, I mean, you got to assume Lacey's going to come out after we're done for the season. He's going to probably go to LSU. We know that Austin Simmons is going to go to LSU. I watched the podcast the other day with his dad was talking about LSU. So, we're going to lose Simmons. Trinidad's trying to get another year of eligibility. Don't know where his allegiance is probably going to be to Kiffin, right? Because most offensive guys, they go to the offensive coach. And that's the scary part is once we do deplete how much we can, go to the portal and recruit or whatever you want to call it and reload and try to get back at it. And maybe some of the East Carolina guys that have had some success there with that system, right? We're back talking about the system, bring them to Oxford and see if we can plug and play maybe. We'll see, dude. But it's just, Ole Miss is like that ugly stepbrother or that ugly cousin. Like we're gonna make the team that's not supposed to look good have a Heisman moment and win the games we're not supposed to.
Yeah,
like we're just that guy, right? I went to Florida last year and we should have beat y'all, but y'all played out of your minds.
Yeah,
I was in games. I was like, gosh, dang it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we're supposed to win this game, but it's just what we do. And we y'all got a good hire though, man. Y'all got a great coach coming. I got a lot of. That guy's going to be good, man. I think y'all are going to be okay.
It's going to be tough for Florida. I think it's just, and I think the state of college football in general, the way the coaching has changed and all of that, it's going to be curious to see what happens in the SEC next year because it's going to be all different people. And you know how it is. It's just like Kirby. Kirby knows how to beat certain teams. And until last weekend, that's the first time he had beaten DeBoer, so he figured it out. Yeah. And, now you wonder, because that's what Saban used to do. Saban would get there and he'd eventually figure out how to beat you. And then he knew how to beat you going forward, no matter if you brought in new coordinators or not. He just figured a way out of way that you do it. And that's what Kirby does. And so it's going to be curious to see what Ole Miss does with Golden defensive side and then bringing in these offensive guys to see if they can make that offense work.
Yeah, we'll see, dude. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. And I don't know. I'll go after this, but I think Alabama just hasn't looked good for the last month. I don't think DeBoer's the answer there, but I'm kind of glad to watch them struggle a little bit. The struggle bus looks good in crimson. I love a good crimson struggle bus.
Yeah, but can't you know that crimson's a way better color than purple and gold? You got to admit.
Bro, when I tell you I can't stand that school, and y'all were up here last week and he was wearing that purple sweatshirt.
I know, ugly.
Dude, it's the worst. It's kind of like maroon from Mississippi State. It doesn't go with anything. You know what I mean? It just doesn't.
That's right. So, you can't even wear that with jeans.
No, blue and red, bro. We're like for the country. You know what I'm saying?
Red, white, and blue.
That's what I'm talking about.
South Alabama, same way. And their initials are USA. You can't get any more American than South Alabama.
You can't even argue with that. Like, you can't even.
You can't.
Like a mic drop.
You can't.
That's right.
They go together.
You're exactly right.
Well,
but, hey, let me ask you a question. Rebels or Land Sharks? You think they should change the mascot?
So I know why they changed the mascot, being from the state. I get it. It's a recruiting thing. They got rid of the Confederate flag, and I completely understand that, and I'm good with that. Land Shark sucks.
Nah, I don't like it either.
One year we were the Land Sharks, and then we're the Black Bears. Like, there's more Black Bears in Florida than there are in Mississippi, bro. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's awful.
Absolutely horrible.
They should just be the catfish and let it go.
They did get catfish.
Yeah, we're the Rebels, man. I'll never be anything but the Rebels. That's just how I have to run that one, for sure.
Well, thank you so much for calling, man. I appreciate it, Waylon, and thanks for listening, buddy. And I agree with you, man. I think you got a good hire there. But we're going to go ahead and go to the break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about
Taylor Devers.
Florida State turning down the bowl game. What? You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Call or text him now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show.
I don't have any problem with Miami getting in. I have a problem with Miami getting in that they were ranked behind Notre Dame. And if you want to put them in front of Notre Dame a couple of weeks ago, I don't have any problem with that. It just looks weird. It doesn't pass the eye test here.
It's the Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Your goals matter, and at Anytime Fitness Panama City, they're ready to help you crush them. With expert coaching, personal training, and virtual workouts through the Anytime Fitness app, you'll have all the support you need inside the club and beyond. Limited time only. Join today for just $1 down and start your fitness journey now. Don't wait. Visit 107 West 23rd Street, Suite W8, or call 850-818-8184. Anytime Fitness. Let's make healthy happen.
Looking to upgrade your truck? It's Blue Diamond Truck Accessories in Panama City. They sell, service, and install it all. Light kits, bed covers, bumpers, winches, lift kits, and any trailer hitch you can imagine. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, just west of Frankfurt Avenue on 15th Street. Find Blue Diamond Truck Accessories on Facebook or call 850-914-0265. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, 850-914-0265.
With over 4 decades in business, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to take your collection to the next level. All new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. Buy, sell, and trade. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards inside the Stanford Station on 23rd Street next to Academy Sports. Come see the bigger store and the larger inventory or visit online, instantReplaySportsCards.com.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
To the rack. Layup good and one. Off the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. This is the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, you got it. To the rack. Dunks it with 2 hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Tonight, it's the Gators versus UConn. Tip-off at 8 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. You've got the games, but we've got the breakdown.
That's the difference between a winning football team and a losing football team.
Hot takes, cold truths, and the takedowns that get everyone talking. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson.
Then you're going to run into a big problem.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here in beautiful Panama City Beach, Florida on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You want to be a part of the show? You can text in. You can call in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. I want to read something real quick on the Red 7T's before we get with Taylor. The NIL should be set up where you get an initial down payment and then so much per game played. Either you play or you're on the injured list. So there you go. That was somebody that said something about when you talked about changing the format of paying players in college.
And 1/6.
Yeah.
Because if you play a total of 17 is the most you can play now, 116 seems reasonable because how many teams are really playing 16 or 17 games?
Not a much.
1, 2, or maybe 3 teams, and that's it.
And then this same guy, he has to be a smart guy because he says that Signetti is going to eventually come to the University of Alabama.
So let me talk about this for a second. Okay, look, my dad. Okay, look, I'm just going to hold back. I'm not going to hold back. My dad's a redneck from Mississippi, northern Mississippi, and I like being a person of the people. I do like being that, and the other half is Cajun, so I'm mixed. But I understand both sides. And I see Golden being a person that he goes to a job, because let's just say this is a job. It's not just a head coach. And he buys in. It doesn't matter if he's from Louisiana. He's going to buy in. He wants to be there. He's happy being there. He loves his people. He wants to see his people succeed. He's bought in at Ole Miss. He's going to have one good year, might win 10 or 11 games, and then he's going to win a 7 or 8, maybe 2 years like that. And then he's not going to be there any longer because he's going to drop off.
Some people are good being head coaches. Some people are good at being coordinators. You'll find out what he's going to be.
But this is the problem. You can have people who love the state of Mississippi and want to be at Ole Miss. And I'm biased because my daughter goes to Ole Miss. That they'd want to be at Ole Miss more than they want to be at Mississippi State because it's traditionally been the better school. In sports especially.
Yeah.
And the problem is money. Mississippi doesn't have enough corporations or money behind it to succeed in the long run, where Florida has that potential. And Florida has, they can get recruits from north, south, east, west, every direction that they're at. And Ole Miss, trust me, they have a lot of talent in Mississippi and it's spread out, but the population is like what? A sixth of Florida? They just don't have as many people also. So Florida has better potential for long-term success. Does that mean Summerall is going to be a success? We'll have to see.
Yeah, we don't know, but good take. Either way, we got Taylor Devers on the phone line, Chop Chat, Norvell Central. Taylor, how you doing today, my friend?
Good, Jeff, Paul. Y'all have set the stage in terms of how I feel. Have you ever seen the guy that looks out the window and you see everybody having fun outside? You see Miami going to the playoffs, and then you see Florida getting a new coach, and even LSU getting a new coach. Where is Florida State in all this mix? Just hiding in the shadows, kind of that weird spot and what Florida State fans don't want to see, and it's just been a weird start to the offseason.
It's like the kid that has to go to school and everybody's going to a birthday party Friday night after school, but that kid doesn't get invited. And what's so crazy is the party's next door, and he has to look out the window and see all the kids playing pin the tail on the donkey, and he can't go do it. And that's the problem with Florida State because, hey, Mike Norvell, we got him right here. Now, let me ask you this. I'm trying to change the subject a little bit, trying to walk you off the ledge just a little bit. But while I'm walking you off the edge, I still got to bring up, you've got 18 seniors. You got 18 seniors on this Florida State team that if you could have allowed them to play in a bowl game, they would have had the opportunity to play in a bowl game. And that stinks. How do you feel about that? Yeah, I get it. You got these kids that want to transfer. I get it. You're trying to get your team all together. But you still got those seniors that are there. You got, like Jeff was talking about yesterday, you got cheerleaders that they would love to go and have fun and give out toys and go to parades and all of the fun stuff that you get to do with a bowl game. But instead, Florida State says, you know what? We ain't going to go to a bowl game either. How do you feel about that, Taylor?
I get the point. I understand not going to a bowl game, but at the same token, you're probably playing at Georgia Southern. You're playing in Birmingham, which is not too far from Tallahassee at that point. You got a younger quarterback in Kevin Sperry. You're trying to groom and see if he's the right guy instead of trying to bring in another transfer. You got other guys on the roster that are really young that want to play in this game. But I can also see Florida State's got a couple of transfers. They had a couple of defensive linemen that entered the portal, and you're going to have more because they're having coaching meetings going on right now. But it's just a factor of Florida State wanting to play in that game. I think it would be a little bit different if Florida State was 6-6 rather than 5-7 and just kind of wanting to rip the Band-Aid off and just go into the next season in whatever season and whatever expectations you have for Florida State. I think it's kind of the bigger factor in all of this.
I don't know. I want Florida State to go to a bowl game, and I almost want to say, what do you do? What are you scared to lose? I mean, come on, get more playing experience. And you don't think you can beat Georgia Southern? What do you think? Taylor, do you think you could beat Georgia Southern?
We might have lost him, but we'll figure it out. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Can you beat Georgia Southern?
I think we should, and I don't really even think that would be even a factor. I just think it comes down to a point of, like, the coaching staff, you don't know who's going to be there. You don't know what a lot of different factors are going to be there, even the players on the roster. So it's like a crapshoot to figure out, okay, if you play Kevin Sperry, and let's just say he performs okay, what if he enters the transfer portal a week later? Then all that effort that you had in that bowl game of preparing him in that moment just went down the drain.
Yeah, and I get that part, but at some point, because there were so many coaches. Now, Auburn's deal, I could see Auburn saying, you know what, we didn't have, our coaching staff, everybody's all split up, everything's away. I think Florida State, for the sake of practice, number one.
Oh, yeah.
Number two, being able to get what you're talking about. And what better way to win over a recruit that you've got in the building than to let them play and to give them game time reps and to say, you know what, let's see what you can do on our team right now, and then afterwards we'll work together and see whether or not this is the best place for you or not. That way you can evaluate them, whether or not you're going to pay them a little bit more money to stay, or if they say, hey, coach, I want to get in the portal, and you didn't really like how they played anyway, so you're like, okay, well, that's fine. Just go ahead and do it. And then that way you'll know where you stand because you get 16 practices. 16 more times to check out the people. Let the people that are going to go. It really doesn't matter. Do good PR work. Get outside of all of this and say, look, this is for the betterment of our team. This is for the betterment of our roster. We're trying to build something strong here at Florida State, and this will give us more preparation. This will give us more practice, and who cares really what the game looks like? We're going because this is going to build our program and do it that way. And then if you do lose or if you only win by a few points, then it's not a big deal because everybody knew what you were doing when you were going into it.
I agree. I think there is a part of me, too, that I know a lot of fan base here just want to get the season over with. I'm one of those fans, man. I will go to any kind of game at all. I mean, it depends on whoever Florida State goes and plays and wherever they're located at. Shoot, I even went to Raleigh and seen Florida State muff 2 punts. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you have to be able to be a fan and be able to be committed to the program. I love the Garnet and Gold. I want them to be successful. But at the end of the day, I understand it's a train wreck right now. It's going to get better. Obviously, Florida State's not going to be down forever. It just depends on what they're going to do with some coaching situations and money and different players and stuff like that. But they can get back very quickly just as they have tumbled down the weeds in terms of just the failures that they've had so far is just as fast. So I think Florida State can be able to do this. And I would be excited to see them in a bowl game. It's just a matter of how the landscape is in college football so far. It's just not what Florida State fans really want to hear right now.
Yesterday we talked about Miami making the playoff, and you would have thought if you'd have cut Jeff's arm open that he was going to bleed orange and green. So I just want to know, how do you feel about Miami making the playoff over Notre Dame?
I'm so excited that I don't have to watch a significant game that means playoff implications that doesn't involve a VHS tape. That is the craziest part in all of this, is that you don't win your conference. You literally lose 2 games that you're not supposed to in late fashion, like Mario Cristobal always does and Miami always does, and you still make it in there. I'm not saying they should be behind Notre Dame because they beat Notre Dame fair and square. I get that completely. I know where that comes from, and I would be absolutely upset if Miami was ranked below them, even though we are rivals. But it comes to a point where you don't win your conference, and you have a team like Duke, who Manny Diaz, who was a former Miami head coach, won an ACC championship before your program could. That's crazy to me, and I think moral victories are always the factor of Miami. And I could actually see them winning this game because of the game being at noon in Texas A&M, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. I didn't even realize it. As I'm turning to look over at my friend Jeffrey, he is wearing orange and green today, just so you know. And so I don't know.
It's not Miami Hurricane green, trust me.
I'll check and see at the break whether or not he lifts his shoulder up to see if I can see the Hurricane or maybe Mario Cristobal's on his shoulder.
You know what? I don't like that Florida State turned down this bowl game at all. I don't hate it extremely, though. I'll tell you about Notre Dame hating them in a second. But I have a memory from like 1995. I drove 3 hours up to Shreveport from Baton Rouge to go watch LSU play Michigan State, and that's the first time I ever saw Nick Saban in person, and he was wearing green for Michigan State. And that was strange. But I still have that memory. That's 30 years ago. Florida State doesn't want to create memories for fans like me? I mean, what is it? It's got to be a 3.5-hour drive to Montgomery, right, from Tallahassee?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Create some memories. Tommy Castellanos, can he play that game?
Yes, he can.
Yeah.
There you go.
He can play it, for sure.
I mean, what if he's a fourth stringer and doesn't get cut and makes third string in the NFL and becomes something one day? Maybe he's the next DeVito, you know? Or Kirk Cousins. Who knows? You know, that'd be creating memories right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Now, you want to hear hate about Notre Dame? You know how y'all are talking about kids and everything? Y'all talking about kids? Notre Dame is that kid that has a football, and he didn't like the way the game's being played, and he went home with that football and said, I'm not playing football with y'all anymore, and I'm taking this football home with me, and y'all can't play football because I don't like y'all. And that's what Notre Dame just did, and it's childish.
We got to go to a break, but everybody make sure you go back to this segment and zoom in on Jeff's face and see it, because it's something to be had. Taylor, we appreciate you for coming on. Man, we will talk to you next week. We will be right back. We've got some pretty important people coming on. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Reach out and smack someone. Call or text now. 850-215-6290. The Red 17 Studio Line. You've read the headlines. You've seen the highlights.
Highway robbery!
But how about the unfiltered truth?
Steroid era, you can like it, love it, hate it, whatever. It's Save Baseball.
Since 2017, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has been the undisputed leader for sports coverage on the Panhandle. If it matters in sports, it matters to us, and it matters to you. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Tuesday. Clear the remainder of the day with a wind around 7 miles per hour out of the north and 56. Tonight, look for a very light wind and clear skies with a temperature near 45. Tomorrow, high around 67 and sunshine with a wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, quite warm with a high of 60 and sunshine. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Keep the adventure going this holiday season in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia during the Season of New Tradition sales event. Bill Bird Kia is now offering 0.9% APR for up to 60 months, plus $1,000 bonus cash on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento or a new 25 Kia Telluride. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Countdown to savings is going on now. Celebrate the season in style and drive away in a new Kia today. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento or VIN-specific new 2025 Telluride with $1,705 per month per $1,000 financed at 60 months. Quantities limited. $1,000 APR bonus is applied as down payment and no cash value cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia.
Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 1/2/26.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
WVLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Gator Boys are back. Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
The rack. Layup good and one. Off the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. This is the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, he got it to the rack. Dumps it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Tonight, it's the Gators versus UConn. Tip off at 8 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Transmitting from the CBC Construction Studio. On this show, we don't hold back. We react, we dissect, and we tell it like it is. You're locked into the truth. You're locked into the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's Tuesday. It's not a Taco Tuesday. It's the Sports Blitz Tuesday with Paul Wilson right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're so glad that you've decided to join us today. You can call in. You can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. I got Jeffrey in the house. I've got Bone Crusher crushing the ones and the twos. And we are excited. We've got our friend from the Bama Tailgate Show on the line right now, Michael Gillespie. Michael, how you doing today, my friend?
Hey, doing great. Good to talk to you guys.
All right, my man. We are so glad to have you. We've been checking your stuff out. Tell the people, the listeners right now, where they can find you and what you guys do, because I know you're with Jake Coker, and a lot of the Florida State people here remember him from the time there, and then they also remember from the Alabama time.
Well, you guys can call me Mick. I guess I should start with that because my wife calls me Michael.
Okay, don't.
You're in trouble.
Everybody calls me Mick. So, but look, I'll accept that. And it is really cool to be able to talk to you guys. Yeah, I live in Fairhope, so I'm not too far from we're on the coast together. You guys are just a little bit down there. Beautiful spot. But yeah, we do the tailgate show together. We preview every Alabama game. And it plays throughout the state. We need to get it on over in Pensacola and over by you guys in Panama City, right? But we just basically we have a good time doing it, man. It's like a bunch of guys sitting at a bar talking about the game, and we have fun doing it. And we take it seriously, but we have a good time, man. I think that's the most important thing that we try to do. Is just when you show up at a tailgate, you may be a Gator, you may be a Seminole. You may be a Bama guy. We sit around, have a cold one and talk football and laugh and joke. That's the vibe we try to get.
Yeah, that's exciting. Now, let me ask you this. Let's get into this because I'm from Mobile, Alabama, so I'm a big Alabama fan. And the deal is I'm very frustrated with the play calling. I understand all of the things that we were told coming into the season about how great Ryan Grubb was. And, I've seen his work from what he was doing with Penix Jr. up with Washington. I saw last year what he did in Seattle. But I'm finding myself being very frustrated with some of the play calling. When we need short yardage, we seem like we're going for the big, the home run. And then there's times where we need the home run that it might be open, and it's like we're going to check down. What's your thoughts on it, Mick?
Well, look, I just got done doing an interview with Chris Lowe on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel, and we were talking about that and the injury situation that Alabama is dealing with right now. And, we've talked about all the running backs being out, Jam Miller, obviously the Bama starting running back, and then Kevin Riley's not there, and Daniel Hill played hurt, and A.K. Deere is running the wrong plays, so he's still trying to figure out how to stay on the field. Nobody knows what happened to Richard Young, right? He's not there either. and then you talk about Parker Brailsford, your starting center, going to be an NFL guy. He's playing hurt, then he leaves the game.
Yeah.
Gino Vandermark, who is his fill-in, he looked hurt. So that's just your offensive line. And then we know Jeremy Bernard's been banged up. He's your best receiver. Ryan Williams hadn't been right this year. Or maybe, after that hit he took against Florida State, it's kind of been a slow season for him. But I didn't realize this, and this was what Chris kind of said to me that was surprising, is that he said Ty Simpson's been dealing with an injury. He didn't really get into specifics on what it was, but apparently he's been injured. And from what Chris said on my interview, it probably happened in the South Carolina game. So you look at the difference between Ty Simpson up until that point, and then what we saw since then. I mean, it's been crazy. I mean, think about it. He had 21 touchdowns and 1 interception before, and he's got 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions since, right? So, I mean, this is the product of playing this really difficult SEC schedule where each week, it's so physical. I agree with you, man. Like, I'm on here with Shank. We do a show sometimes twice a week, Shank and I. Offensive lineman at Alabama, was a Florida State commit, and then obviously flipped and went to Alabama, won championships with Nick Saban. Shank's hey, why aren't we running the ball? We need to be running the ball more effectively, and that's not something that Ryan Grubb really seems to to believe in. It just doesn't feel like he believes in the run like we're used to. I'm sure that's where a lot of your frustration is coming from.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, you know how it is. It's always when a new guy comes in, and then when you replace a legend like Nick Saban, you want it to be somewhat of the same, and they've got to come in and they've got to get their, fingerprints all over it and help for them. And so I think that's where the frustration is like we want some of the same things that we've become accustomed to all these years, and it's really not the same. And like you said, it's a different way of thinking, and it's a different way of playing. Now, as far as playing Oklahoma for the second time, how do you feel about it? Because, when we play Brent Venables, we've always, whether it was with Coach Saban or without Coach Saban, we've always had struggles with him. It's almost it's like public enemy number one for me because I can't stand the guy. Number two, it just seems like he always stays in the game with us until the fourth quarter and is trying to make us make bad plays. So what do you think about this game against Oklahoma being the second time this year?
Yeah. Well, Coker was talking about it, right? They would play him at Florida State when he was there, and then, obviously played him in the national championship game when he was at Bama as the starting QB. And he was talking about some of the things that Venables would do, where he would basically put somebody where they're not supposed to be. And if you remember the national championship game in 2015, O.J. Howard caught, wide open touchdowns, right? Because they just were like, well, we're not going to worry about him. We're going to do this. And then, and Coker was able to sit back there, read the defense, and make plays, right? And Venables also known for being able to steal signs, which not in a way that is illegal, a legal way of doing it, like in baseball, stealing signs. Like if you're on second base and they don't cover it up and you're out in the game, then you can do that. He's good at that. Bama's struggled against Oklahoma since he's been there. I mean, last year they lost, and that kept them out of the the postseason. So for Bama's just going to have to play the same game they played in Tuscaloosa without the mistakes, and they'll win. Oklahoma's offense is no good. So if you make them drive the length of the field, you'll beat them. They'll make a mistake. We didn't do that last time. We just kept giving them short fields, and it's the same thing that happened in the SEC championship game. Like Kirby kind of took advantage of the same thing. A block punt, interception, boom, there's 14 and you're out.
Yeah.
Against those defenses. So Bama's going to have to just basically play smart. I think the other part of this, too, is how healthy can you get in 9 days, right? I mean, how healthy can we get to, or whatever it is, I guess it's more than 9 days. But how healthy can you get to play in this game? And I hope that that we get healthy. I don't think Ty's going to be 100%. But you know what? Having some time off. If we get Jam Miller back, if we get maybe if we get Josh Cuevas back, our tight end. I mean, you can talk about how the Georgia game turned out. I'm amazed that we beat Auburn when you look at all these injuries that we're dealing with, and how critical they are to the positions that we need. And when you're a quarterback and you're hurt and your tight end's not there, it's been one of your best players. That definitely factors in. So I just think play smart, play a little bit smarter than you did last time. Don't turn the ball over. Make Oklahoma beat you. And the other part of this is that Oklahoma's owned us in the regular season. We've actually done pretty well against them in the postseason. I think that's going to continue.
Yeah, and see, that's where, for me, I'm the same way as you on that. I believe, the injuries have caused us, but I was very scared, and we talked about it on the show here. I was very scared of Auburn. Auburn's defense is elite. They were good all year, and I was just hoping that we wouldn't have the forced turnovers and the things and so obviously our defense picked up, because really our defense has been our strong suit this year just because of a lot of the 3 and outs, especially in this, these last couple of games where we really haven't looked the same like you were talking about earlier. And that's where our defense, a lot of times I always call it the Jalen Hurts problem, because back in the day it never failed. Jalen Hurts would go a couple of 2-3 series in a row where he would go 3 and outs, and then everybody would be mad at they'd all be mad at the defense, and it would be like, oh, the defense, they can't stop anybody. Well, they've been out there for the whole quarter, and so that's the problem. So I think that's the big part that we can really kind of go to really think, if we can just extend drives, make those drives long, keep our defense off the field, don't turn the ball over, I think that's the key to being able to beat those Venable teams.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, we should have beat them last time.
Yeah.
And it was the pick six. We ran into the issue there. LSU almost just beat them. And LSU's not very good at all this year. Alabama can win this game. Yeah, not on offense. Bama can win this game. They're just going to have to get we got to get our stars back on the field, and you hope that some of these guys are the Cuevases and the Jam Millers and the Parker Brailsfords, that they're back. It was really the perfect recipe for the for the result that Alabama had against Georgia, just because they were so banged up going into that game. But hopefully, I can't sit here and tell you that I know for sure what's going to happen. Like when Nick Saban was coach, you knew that you would get into these games and you knew we were going to go in there and give it a great effort. Yeah. The thing I worry about with DeBoer is I'm just wondering, are fading at the end of the season going to be a trademark for him? And I think last year and this year, two totally different seasons.
Yeah.
And I feel like this year issue was or is injuries. I felt like last year that it just was a culture thing. Basically, I just didn't like the culture that we had created for ourselves at the end of the year. And I think they did a great job of addressing that. The Florida State game really scared me. And it wasn't that Florida State won the game. It was just our lack of effort in that game. But then you know what? We have come back and we have played a really, really good season. Even in that game against Georgia last week, with all the injuries and the way that the results were, I thought we played very hard. I thought we played very hard against Oklahoma. I don't have anything that, when I look at this, and I can be pretty critical at times, because I'm honest. But I didn't look at it and get out of that game. I did the post-game show on the Next Round YouTube channel. And I'm on there, and I'm like, you know what? Georgia played a good game. We look banged up.
Yeah.
And then I start hearing stuff even to collaborate that, especially when I'm talking to Chris Lowe, and he's telling me, doesn't surprise me, but it wasn't an effort thing, But I hope that that's not a trend for these, for DeBoer and his team, is where Alabama's always been known for getting stronger as the season went on, that we're kind of getting weaker as the season went on, and injuries are a big part of that.
Yeah, we're talking with Mick of the Bama Tailgate Show. When you think about how everybody changed, I say everybody, all of the Notre Dame fans changed their anger from the Miami fans to Alabama. How do you feel about that part of it all? I mean, obviously they're just grasping for, the next line to, find a reason to cry. But do you really believe that the committee got it right in the end? Because, a lot of people talked about, especially here on our show, we talked about how that Notre Dame was too high coming in and that the College Football Playoff Committee basically got it right in the end. What's your thoughts on that, Nick?
Yeah, a couple things. First off, the College Football Playoff Committee made a mistake having them ranked as high as they did.
Yeah.
But I think part of it is for the television drama that goes along with it. And we've been there before. I mean, look, Alabama was number 5 in 2022. And I thought they were the best team in the country. They had Bryce Young, who was the Heisman Trophy winner, Jahmyr Gibbs, who's breaking Barry Sanders records.
Yep.
With the Lions. I mean, you look around at the talent that Alabama had that year, and they were, I feel like, better than Georgia. And I kept saying, hey, Georgia doesn't want to play us. We're the only team that'll beat them. They don't want us in the playoff. Bama lost to Tennessee in a game that changed my opinion on sports betting. Not that I don't. I'm fine with sports betting, but when I watch the FBI, catch all these sports cheating, at least the players in there, it opened my eyes to the possibility of that happening in college football. I thought the officiating in that game was just fishy, in my opinion. of the 17 penalties in that game that Alabama lost to Tennessee. I've never felt that way before or since, but it just felt like to me, in my opinion, that the officials wanted Tennessee to cover. I don't think they care if they won. They ended up winning the game on a last-second field goal. Even some of the penalties in that game that Tennessee had called against them would be like a fourth down play. They don't get it, and then all of a sudden, like, there's a whistle and a procedure penalty so they get another shot at it. It was crazy. You know that.
Yep.
So then you lose that one. You lose the one at LSU where they score the 2-point conversion at the end of the game, to basically win by one. And Bama's in the fourth spot, and they are in the fifth spot, and then the conference championship games happen, and Bama's in the fifth spot anyway, right? Remember?
Yeah.
They let TCU in and all that. So we've been there before, and so and then last year for SMU to get in over us when they didn't have their strength of schedule looked like Notre Dame's strength of schedule. It was terrible. They didn't have any wins. Notre Dame played two really good teams this year. They lost to both of them, including Miami. And to me, like, that's why Notre Dame's frustrated, because just like Alabama in 22, they could have ran the table. We could have. But for them to pull out of the college football, of the bowls, that's absolutely – I'm so sick of the way that things are in this day and age, where if you don't get your way, you're going to cry and go home. We used to be a society that, used to suck it up and say, you know what, didn't go our way today. We're going to go to the Sugar Bowl. We're going to kick the crap out of Kansas State just to because it's going to set us up for the next year, and we're going to show everybody we belong there, right?
Yeah.
Bama won the SEC the next year. They beat the crap out of Georgia. Look, the bottom line is that I think it's embarrassing for Notre Dame to have walked away and done that. They don't even have an argument.
Nope.
Like, how are you going to keep Bama out, losing their conference championship game that they don't have to play if they don't want to? Right? And my opinion on this is Alabama was penalized for playing in this game. They're the number one seed in their conference in the SEC, arguably the best top-to-bottom conference in college football, right?
Yep.
If you had the choice to host a home game in the first round or go in there, and if you lose, you're on the road. If you win, you get a bye. I think just from a guy that goes to Vegas a lot, I may just take the home game. Right?
Yeah.
We're going to have to play on the road because we went and played that game. We would have let one of these other teams go. Why couldn't we just sit there and get healthy like Ole Miss and Oklahoma? Oklahoma got an advantage for being in second place or third or wherever they were. I guess not second, but being down the line, right?
Yeah.
That's not fair either.
So let me ask a crazy question.
Yeah.
Okay, so Duke won some kind of tiebreaker to get into the ACC championship. Would you have rathered A&M or Ole Miss, because they only had one loss overall because they were ranked higher, to get into the SEC championship instead of Alabama?
Yes. And I wish that would have happened because of what I'm telling you right now, because we could have gotten healthy, which is more important to us than going into this game, and we would have hosted.
Yep.
So, and I don't know why no one seems to be talking about this, because it's like, well, Alabama shouldn't be in. No, Alabama should be, because that's the precedent that you set as a committee. Right, this is how we've done it, and it's back. It hasn't always benefited us because it didn't in 22. Right, I hear some of these, one of these talking heads on ESPN, and she's on there. Last year she was like, SMU needs to be in. This year, that she didn't want Alabama in, and I'm like, it's so ridiculous because some of these people are just so unqualified to even talk, like to even be on there, but they have a platform, so we got to sit there and listen to it. The truth of the matter is that this is the precedent that's been set. That's how they've done it since the beginning. And in 22, we were out like Notre Dame. Notre Dame is a great team. They'd probably beat Alabama if they played them. But you know what? That's the way it is. You lost to Miami. They're getting in and you're not. And when you look at their strength of schedule, it was weak. Miami's was weak too.
Yeah.
You look at, all the stuff, it was like they were like exactly the same as Miami. They have the same record. I know Miami lost to worse teams than Notre Dame. But guess what? They beat Notre Dame. That should count. That should have put them in.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd like to walk away from the playoff and to not, I'm not going to do a bowl game and all that stuff. It really is kind of an indicator of where we are just as a whole in college football, where the players now run everything with their NIL money and their transfer portal. The coaches are afraid to say anything to them. And now the teams, if they don't get their way, they're just not going to play.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, we are bumped up against the break, Mick. We appreciate you coming on. Mick from Bama Tailgate Show. We appreciate it, man. We definitely want to touch base back with you whenever the game is played and get your thoughts on that, my friend.
Thank you, guys. Have a great Christmas and roll tide. And at Broadcaster Mick on Twitter and the Bama Tailgate Show on YouTube. And I'm sure some of you guys probably can hear it on radio as well, depending on where you live.
Awesome. We appreciate it. Yes, sir. We'll share that, and we will definitely like all of that. Mick, we appreciate it, buddy. When we come back, we're going to talk more about it, and we might have a little guest on the phone when we get back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Taking your hot takes, rants, and takedowns. Let's hear it on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz.
I don't like seeing people get fired. And the Florida fans are worse than ever because not only they asked for the coach's job before he even finished half the season out, now they want Strickland. They want heads to roll. I don't enjoy this. I don't like this. And it's bad and it's toxic and you don't look good when you're doing it.
The Sports Blitz.
Live and local, weekdays, 4 to 6.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Tuesday. Clear tonight with very little wind and temps near 44. Tomorrow morning we will have sunshine and a wind speed of 6 miles per hour and be quite warm at 63. Clear in the afternoon and evening and a high 66 with a moderate breeze. Sunshine Thursday with a temp of 59. Friday the high will reach 68 with sunshine. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
360-degree protection of your home, 365 days a year, one low monthly price.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control offers an affordable program that provides our customers with peace of mind. Brock 365.
We like bundling pest control with termite protection for a low monthly payment. We couldn't be happier with the results. Most treatments are done outside, and we haven't had any issues in over 3 years.
Call us today for your free consultation.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
To the rack. Layup good and one. Top of the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. This is the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, you got it. To the rack. Dunks it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Tonight, it's the Gators versus UConn. Tip-off at 8 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. It's go time all the time. Sports talk around the clock.
Oh, my God.
The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in. You can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. You heard it right. Florida Gators versus UConn tonight. Tip-off's at 8 o'clock. Listen right here. We're going to go ahead and go to the Red 7T's phone line. We've got Chris on the line. Chris, are you there, my friend?
I am here, Paul. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear. Is this Christopher Montecante?
Man, how'd you guess?
Oh man, I just had a inkling. So you know that now these Hurricanes have made it to the dance. So my question to you, number one, is do they deserve it? Number one. Number two, are they going to dance farther than the first round?
Sure. I can answer those questions for you. First of all, do we deserve to be there? Absolutely. If you look at the teams on the bubble, you got, Alabama, Notre Dame, and Miami. You look at Alabama, they have by far the worst loss of all the teams in the playoff, but they also have the best win, and they have another loss to a team that they beat. So that kind of pretty much cancels it out. And if you look at Notre Dame, let's rewind all the way back to the beginning of the season when they were 0-2. The pundit was, will they be in the playoff? Will it be enough? Will their schedule be enough? Because everybody knew it back then that they played nothing but cupcakes the rest of the way. Their best win was over at 8-4, USC squad, I do believe. And the only two good teams, or I'll say playoff caliber teams that they played, they lost to. One at home and one on the road. They have a guy that's going to New York, Jeremiah Love, who had a great season. He's a great player. He had 30 yards against us. Shut him down. He was on the sidelines, looking scared and hurt. So do we deserve to be there? Yes. Is showing up enough? I will say this. If the Hurricanes were to lose in the first round of the playoff, this season is still a success. We had consecutive 10-win seasons, a lot of momentum going into the transfer portal, into recruiting. Got a lot of guys coming back, and we look to have another 10-win season next year. But this matchup with Texas A&M, they are really explosive. A lot of guys on the outside that I wish, maybe we had on our team. A lot of speed on offense. They got some big guys on defense, too. A lot of 4, a lot of 5-star guys out there. And I have a lot of respect for Mike Elko. Great coach. But, man, we match up so well against these guys. And I look back at the last 5 games of the season, and we're blowing everybody out. I would never claim to be an insider of any kind, but I will say that I do have a bit of an unhealthy obsession with Miami Hurricanes football. And I do know that after the SMU game, which everybody, including myself, thought that was it, we are done, they will never put us in. Now, a discussion was had between Mario and Shannon Dawson, and more or less it was, okay, if you think you know everything, then prove it. Let's see it. And we've done nothing but blow everybody out. You look in the fourth quarter of those games against Pitt, NC State, we're fast, we're hungry, we're hitting hard. I like it. This is a side of Mario that I've really never seen before, and I got to be honest with you. It's scary for the rest of college football. A lot of people talk about player development. What about coach development? I mean, you look at 3 years ago, should have took the knee, right? You look at 2 years ago, another sort of debacle that was similar to that. Mario is not. He's not ignorant to these things, and he hears the rumblings and such. And there was some heat on his seat this year. But getting into the playoffs, that's big for us. And I do believe we can make a run, especially with the storylines that we have if we can get past Texas A&M.
That's the biggest storyline to me. So you got the two teams that beat Notre Dame are playing each other. So that just works out even better. So you got A&M and Miami. And this is the thing. The way you shut Notre Dame up is you just go out and beat Texas A&M. That's it. You go out and beat Texas A&M. There's no reasoning behind anybody else mentioning you, and you now let Notre Dame turn their anger against Alabama, which they've already had. But let me say this, Chris, because you've been a listener for a long time, and we appreciate it, and we definitely appreciate all the stuff you say. But I will say, you have single-handedly turned Jeffrey into a Miami fan.
No, not.
And with that being said, he is wearing a orange and green sweater today, and I will say I'm shocked. I really am shocked.
Well, I'm very impressed with Jeffrey and his development as well. I wish I had Taylor. He's mentioned something about ACC championships, and man, that used to really bother me until I kind of just got with the evolution of college football and realized that those really don't matter. I mean, look at Ohio State. How many conference championships do they have over the past year? Over the past few years, rather. But they got natties.
That's right.
You know, they're competing.
No, natty singular.
One. Let's don't put it. They got one.
It's 5 years in a row they have not won the Big Ten. 5 years in a row.
I will take 5 years no conference championship in return for a national championship all day, every day, guys.
Y'all would have beat Virginia this week, though. Y'all would have beat him in the ACC championship.
Oh man, we would have crushed Virginia. We would have beat Duke really bad. I think it's clearly obvious. And I'm really glad that the ACC network played nothing but Notre Dame versus Miami for like a week, back to back to back to back.
Trolling them.
Yeah, they did.
I really think that got us in. But man, look at Malachi Toney. You know.
Yeah.
Every single week he does something that makes me say, "Wow!" Whether it be a one-handed grab or taking a 8-yard hitch for 60 yards and stiff arming people and hurdling or throwing multiple touchdown passes, or man, the guy is incredible, and I think that he could be in New York in the very near future. So we got the talent to do it.
I can't tell you I'm going to pull for Miami against Texas A&M, but if you win that game, you're going to be playing the 2 seed, and I guarantee you it doesn't matter who wins. You got to beat Ohio State, because that's the way I feel about it. I am not an Ohio State fan at all. And as far as like being a Miami homer or anything like that, no. I just felt like it was right to put Miami in. Notre Dame was the first team out. And to shut them up, actually, I wish they would have gone to go play BYU. Because on paper, BYU looks better than Miami or Notre Dame. But the eye test doesn't hold up. BYU lost to Texas Tech, number 4, twice.
Yep.
And we're not supposed to hold the conference championship against them. But the way they got crushed, it was obvious they are not them, and they shouldn't be in the 12.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I'm all for that. Now, Chris, let me ask you this. With all of the ways that Cristobal has brought in these new quarterbacks, are you as a fan okay with that? Like, you're okay with him bringing in a new quarterback every year, because it's 2 years in a row. Now you've got into the playoff. Last year you had the little bit of losses at the end of the year that spurned y'all's playoff hopes. But this year you made it, and you got somebody like Carson Beck who has been there before. So do you like this for your new team, or, you know, for going forward, getting a new quarterback every year like that?
I love it, and let me tell you why. Right now we're in the playoffs, and we're looking more cohesive all season long. Carson Beck had an injury, and he didn't even play, so he didn't even throw until fall camp or the very end of summer. And it does take time to gel, especially with your teammates. You have different personalities, and now you got all kind of sorts of different guys being brought in and plugged in positions. And one I'd like to say something about is Keelan Marion, wide receiver. He's been our most really consistent wide receiver all year long. JoJo Trader was supposed to be that guy, and we just haven't saw it. If you would have told me that JoJo Trader wouldn't get a third of our snaps this year, I'd have told you that we would have had a pretty bad offense. I'm really, really happy with the way the young guys have come along. We really, really hit on last year's recruiting class. We got the best group of freshmen that I've seen in a long time, probably since we had Ja'Cory Harris and the Miami Northwestern guys in 2008. We got guys like that all over the place. We're gelling now, and I do think next year we're going to continue this trend. I say I'm okay with it because, you look at next year, the guys that we could possibly get, whether it be Sam Levitt, which is rumored to go, which he has hit the transfer portal, I do believe, or has announced his intention.
He announced it, and then he is not traveling with the team, I believe. So that gives you an indication.
So and Jim Levitt has ties to the South Florida area, obviously. So it wouldn't be too far fetched to say Sam Levitt could be our quarterback next year, and I'm fine with this because I know that the guys that we have behind them, I put them side by side with each other, and I'm taking Sam Levitt over Emory Williams all year. Emory, I love you, man, but you're just, you're not going to, I don't think he's a playoff caliber quarterback. We got a young guy named Luke Nickel. he could be that guy one day if he's developing and continues developing under Shannon Dawson. I think that he could play for us one day. We got a guy coming in with this incoming recruiting class, Darion Coleman. I think if he had some size, we wouldn't need to transfer a quarterback next year. But he's really the size of his age. He's a 17-year-old kid. But he's worked with Cam Ward for a couple years. He just reminds me of Cam Ward, his attitude, the way the ball comes out, the quick release. He's got everything Cam Ward has besides experience and size. And obviously he can still gain both of those. So I'm really excited about the future of the quarterback position at Miami. It's been far too long since we have had those guys. You know, the days of Robert Marv and, Tyler Van Dyke and guys like that, guys that aren't even playing quarterback right now, anywhere, they're third string somewhere else. Very excited about it.
Well, let me ask you this, because we're bumped up against the break. Is the U back?
The U is almost back.
Almost.
Not quite back yet. The U is not quite back yet, but you know what? Give me a couple of weeks, and if we can knock out a couple big-time elite contenders, then we can talk about it.
Sounds good.
You know, there's a game that Notre Dame's got marked off on their calendar, and it's next year at Miami, November 7th.
That is at South Bend.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's at South Bend. You're right. It is at South Bend. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Maybe you and Jeffrey can wear matching shirts then.
Whatever.
I would love to have some J. Michael famous spaghetti with Jeffrey one day.
There we go. It's Wednesdays.
There you go. Awesome. Well, we appreciate you calling and definitely being a part of the show today. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, buddy. Hey, AutoNation Ford, Panama City. They do you right. You looking in the market for a vehicle right now? Right here at the end of the year, you want to get all of the deals. You want to get all of the financing deals. Right now is the time to go see those guys. 730 West 15th Street, right there beside the railroad tracks. Those guys know how to get you in. You don't want a new vehicle? That's fine. They got used vehicles as well. Plus, they have the online option where they can find vehicles for you no matter where they are. So either way, go see them. AutoNation Ford in Panama City. Now, you know as well as I do, everybody gets together for Christmas. And when you drive up and your vehicle looks a mess, you can't tell everybody how much money you've been making on crypto. So if you got to get your vehicle taken care of, do we got a place for you? Recommended Collision Center on Jinx Avenue. Go see Brandon and those guys. They will take good care of you. You don't need to show up for dinner with a mirror that's broke. You don't need to be climbing in and out of your vehicle. Get the door handle fixed. Brandon, and they'll take care of you. Recommended Collision Center right there on Jinx Avenue. They're great. They're locally owned, locally operated, and they are doing great work over there. So either way, stop by there and see those guys. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the conference champions and a little bit more, something I got to share with Jeffrey. You listen to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Touchstone Service. The Red 70s studio line is open.
Demonstrate how to make a call with your dial telephone.
850-215-6290. Keep the game going with ESPN Northwest Florida. Just because you get out of the car doesn't mean the Sports Talk and Line play-by-play have to end. Just say, hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida. From Michigan Avenue to the man cave, from the car to the kitchen, we've got you covered. Keep the game going. Hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida.
Keep the adventure going this holiday season in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia during the Season of New Tradition sales event. Bill Bird Kia is now offering 0.9% APR for up to 60 months, plus $1,000 bonus cash on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento or a new 25 Kia Telluride. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Countdown to savings is going on now. Celebrate the season in style and drive away in a new Kia today. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento or VIN-specific new 2025 Telluride with 1705 $7,005 per month per 1,000 financed at 60 months. Quantities limited. 1,000 APR bonuses applied as down payment and no cash value cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty.
Offer for well-qualified buyers must take delivery from dealer stock through 1/2/26.
This Christmas, as you search for the perfect gifts, the team at That Boot Store wants to remind you of the greatest gift of all. The true joy of the season comes from celebrating the birth of Jesus and the gift of salvation he brought to us all. From the team at That Boot Store, may your heart be filled with the peace and hope of the season. That Boot Store wishes you a very Merry Christmas.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
To the rack. Layup good and one. Off the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. This is the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, you got it. To the rack. Dunks it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Tonight, it's the Gators versus UConn. Tip-off at 8 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz. 100% live and local from the CBC Construction Studios. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. Now. The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We are live, local, and worldwide right here in the CBC Construction Studio in beautiful Panama City Beach, Florida. Don't forget tonight, Florida Gators versus the UConn terrible team, 8 p.m. tonight right here on 104.3. Jeffrey, I wanted to tell you, Nick Saban goes into the College Football Hall of Fame today. Thank you, Coach Saban, I'm reading this, for turning Alabama into the greatest dynasty in college football history and for creating a level of jealousy and envy that will last a lifetime. 6 national championships, 9 SEC championships, 4 Heisman Trophy winners, 76 first-team All-Americans, 47 consensus or unanimous, 133 NFL draft picks, 47 of them in the first round, absolute domination, a run college football will possibly never, ever see again. What do you think?
How many headsets did he break?
A bunch. I mean, a bunch.
Look, entertainment. I mean, look, I'm not gonna spew any Alabama hate or anything like that. The man got the job done. He did it his way. He wasn't there to make friends sometimes, and but he did it his way and won. Sometimes I don't agree when somebody does that, like a Bobby Knight. I didn't like that guy. That guy was a jerk. Mm-hmm. Saban really doesn't. He's not a jerk, So I don't hate him.
Well, that's good. I appreciate you not hating him. I think when you look at how he did it, like you made a good point by saying that he did it his way, and I agree with that. And really, when you look at how many people that he brought into that place, in Tuscaloosa.
Jake Coker is a perfect example.
Yeah, he brought those guys there, and, outside of Tua, Mac, and Jalen, I mean, AJ made it to the pros, but I'm just saying, it wasn't like they just transferred in and showed up and took them to the national title. It was a full team effort. The defensive players, that he was putting in there from DBs to linebackers to defensive linemen. You can look at all of his teams and you can't, and I know we all get, sideways on DBU and running back U and wide receiver U and quarterback U and all that. And that's fun and that's fine. But if you look at all the totality of all those players that went to play in the NFL, and our guest earlier talked about Jahmyr Gibbs of how awesome he's turned out with. Well, don't forget Josh Jacobs is still running the football in the NFL. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's still dominating. And whether you believe in Tua or whether you like Jalen or Mac or whatever, we still got those players players, and they're still playing the game.
Yeah.
And it's a tribute to him. And, I mean, do you think it's too soon after he retired to inaugurate him into the college football playoff, or do you think they should have just done it the day of so that he wouldn't come back and coach again?
Yeah, exactly. Get that guy locked out. Don't give him the keys.
Aren't you glad, though? I mean, because
he deserves it. Come on, you know?
but college game day, they kind of like really took him away from coaching, and he really enjoys doing that.
Yeah, but it's great to get an insight from a coach's point of view and an intelligent coach. And I'm not saying anything bad about coaches like Gene Chizik who are on there, but yeah.
Or Urban Meyer.
Saban's next level as far as like his analytics go and everything.
He still got fired too. Now last week, one of the guys had said something a little bit about something that he had said about the playoffs whenever he was coaching. And you could tell it kind of ticked him off a little bit. So the old Saban, he didn't have his headphones on to throw him down, but he definitely stepped towards the guy and pointed at him, which was really kind of cool to see. I rewound it just to watch it again.
I'm surprised he hasn't lit up McAfee more than once.
Yeah, but I think they're becoming friends. It's like crazy.
He's tolerating him. He's like, this is my work environment now. I've got to deal with this younger guy, and he's outlandish. He's a little crazy.
Yeah, but I think he likes him because he does go on his show a lot, and they kind of go back and forth. I think, for the show's sake, I think that they have that, that push-pull type deal going on. So I think it's kind of like me and you. Push-pull with me and you. So either way.
I like it when Brandon's in here.
Yeah, Brandon. And by the way, for tomorrow, Brandon won't be here. He'll be here on Thursday. And so, I want to make that programming so everybody that listens.
It's because he has to stop crying from the Vols not getting into the playoffs.
I don't think that's the deal.
I'm joking.
Is LSU in the playoffs?
I
didn't think so.
I think they made it this year.
But anyway, since we're offending people, let's go ahead. You know what?
Let's keep going.
Yeah, let's keep going. Let's go.
Hey, you know what? I'm not going to offend Multiconte, though. I want to thank him for calling in.
Yeah, that was good. That was great. And obviously,
who are we offending now?
Yeah, I think you should offend Bone Crusher with some stats that you gave me. So give me some stats real quick for Bone Crusher. This is for you. For all you Georgia fans, all you Atlanta Falcon fans, here you go.
The Georgia Bulldogs won the same amount of games in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in an 8-day stretch than the Falcons have all year. 2 games.
I was already offended by his little speech about Nick Saban. Now I'm double offended.
Well, that's what happens. Yeah. So either way, yeah.
So here's a question: how long is it going to take? I mean, Saban's been out almost 2 full years, right?
Yeah, this is the second year.
Kirby Smart. Will he have to be out like 4 years before he gets into the College Football Hall of Fame? Because he will be in.
Kirby is young. I mean, obviously for coaching.
Is he 56?
I think so, somewhere around there. Okay, so he's still, he's probably got 10, 15. So that's really the question. Bone Crusher, do you think he might go to the Atlanta Falcons and try to turn this debacle around?
I don't think so. No. And those have you heard those radio commercials Nick does for the paint company with like Sherman Williams or something? That is the worst read I've ever heard on a radio commercial. Come on, Nick.
Yeah.
Come on, yeah. Man. William Shatner's Priceline.com commercials are
the Verbo. He does Verbo, and Nick Saban does.
Yeah, he does Verbo.
Yeah, those are pretty funny though.
That's pretty funny
because he's very serious about it.
Yeah.
He's like, no, that's the rules is right here.
Coaching.
Yeah, it's great. But let's look at it real quick. We got to talk about the conference championships. We talked about it a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
When you look at the games that were played, what stood out for you the most? Because really, these games, whether they didn't matter, they really did.
Yeah.
A lot of people use them for eye test and all that stuff. So what do you think?
I think the teams that failed the eye test the most really was BYU.
Yeah, they didn't look very good.
I thought Virginia was going to win their game. That's why I picked them, and they kind of failed out on what their potential was. I picked North Texas, but let me tell you the problem with North Texas winning that game. And I have all 6 of the big conference championships.
Big being North Texas.
What do you think the turnover on North Texas Tulane was? Who had how many turnovers?
I think Tulane had more, didn't they?
No. Tulane had 0.
They didn't have a turnover?
No turnovers. You know how many North Texas had? 5. You cannot win a game.
Yeah.
You cannot win a game if you have 5 turnovers to 0. It's not going to happen. BYU, 4 turnovers. Texas Tech, 0.
Yeah.
See, those are the 2 games that There was no chance for those teams at all.
You know who had 5 turnovers during the season? DJ Lagway against LSU.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what happens. They should have beat y'all.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Take 2 of those turnovers away, they probably win.
10-point win.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have.
Now let's look at
and LSU can't score on offense.
No, let me ask you this about Texas Tech and BYU, because yesterday you were a little bit, felt like they're a good team. Do you think they're a 4th-ranked team in the country? I don't. Think
they're top 8 though.
I don't think they're better than Miami. I don't think they can beat Oklahoma. I don't think they're better than A&M. Maybe on a neutral site, one game, anybody can be beat at this point except for JMU and Tulane. But do you think Alabama is a better team than Texas Tech? I do. I don't think they have the athletes to play with them. I think they bought their roster, which is fine. It's legal. That's what you do now. I applaud them for playing good football, but they definitely, you cannot look at the bracket and say that the bracket that is with Texas Tech at the top is not the easiest part of it. So Oregon's got a cakewalk to the semifinal to play Indiana, Alabama, or Oklahoma, whoever goes there.
So the 5 seed is Oregon. Mm-hmm. So that's what Texas Tech has got to see in the second round, because Oregon's going to beat JMU.
Yes.
James Madison.
That's what I'm saying. And so when you look at them, they've got the easiest way, which Texas Tech is not very good.
So
to me.
So Virginia to Duke. Virginia had 2 turnovers. Duke had 1. This is pretty close, right?
Yeah.
So they should have won that game. Virginia should have. They were playing a 7-5 team that lost to UConn. Duke lost to UConn. Come on, man.
Duke had some. It just seemed like Duke was the aggressor. Duke was the team that wanted to win. It was as if Virginia was playing not to lose, and Duke was just like, we're going to throw all stops at you and just going to go out there and beat you. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, their quarterback is good.
Yardage, they were equal, Duke and Virginia.
But it was just the turnovers, and like I said, the tenacity that Duke played. And I know it's so funny because Duke's a basketball school.
Yeah.
But they had tenacity. Manny Diaz had those boys ready to play, and they had a little bit of an edge. And him at the end, I mean, I guess that's what you do as a coach. You say, yeah, we deserve to be in the college football playoff. He said that in his interview.
That's crazy.
And 5 losses, no thanks.
Okay, Georgia, no turnovers. Bama had 1. We're not going to count the block punt. It's not counted as a turnover.
Right.
But you can't score 7 points on Georgia and not have them turn over the ball and expect to win. And in rushing, you talk about all those negative yards. Well, that's a quarterback and a receiver and all that. Really, the running backs went 7 for 21. That's 3-yard average. That was another part of the problem. But Bama, in order to beat Oklahoma, I think they're going to have to either punch the ball out of somebody's hands, or they're going to have to step in front of a receiver and get an interception. It's going to be turnovers is what Alabama's going to need, and they're going to need 2 of them.
Alabama does good at that, though. They do play.
But they didn't do it against Georgia
because they could not play on offense.
Yeah.
But the key is going to be for Alabama to be able to move the football, to be able to have long drives, to take the ball, take the air out of the ball a little bit, give their defense some time, but it's do their thing that they've done with DeBoer the whole time. When Alabama is scoring and running up the field, scoring 14 and 21 in the first half, that's when they usually win their football games. And that's
DeBoer will be gone in 2 to 3 years, and I think the reason is because he doesn't challenge the team to play all 4 quarters. When the defense was kicking butt for Alabama against LSU in the second and third quarter, they sat on it. They didn't challenge themselves on offense. They did it what was safe to just try and win the game and put it away. Well, not put it away. It's the exact opposite. And that's the problem with this last month for Alabama. They need to really push it.
Do you think that with that he's going to take another job, or do you think Alabama is going to get rid of him?
Oh, they're getting rid of him because they'll be tired of 9-3. And
because the standard isn't just to make the playoffs anymore.
Yeah.
Like Alabama's supposed to be in the playoffs. They're not supposed to be on the outside looking in. And he's had 1 year where he's outside looking in. Mm-hmm. Now he made the playoff barely, where everybody is like throw their hands up and Alabama shouldn't be.
Y'all went 9-3 last year, lost to Oklahoma. That's a thorn in your side right there. And then you lost to Michigan in the bowl game. So you're 10-3 this year. Let's say you get ousted in the first round to Oklahoma. That's a thorn in your side twice this year. Oklahoma's got your number. Thank God you're only playing them every other year. And then eventually these 10-3s and the 9-3s, or even if you count the extra loss from the postseason, 4 losses. Yeah. I mean, it's going to get old. It's going to be like Bo Pelini at Nebraska. 10 wins ain't good enough.
No. I mean, when you come behind the GOAT like that, when you come behind a legendary
the comparison,
it's just hard to shake it. I mean, I think he's done well with being able to do that, but I just, this game, whether everybody thinks this or not, you've got to beat Oklahoma. You've got to, because if you don't, this is not going to – Alabama's fan base is not a fan base that likes getting in, and that's good enough. Christopher Multicante said, we're happy to be in there. Yeah. We're wanting – because they're wanting to gradually get back to be something like they used to. He didn't say they were back yet. Yeah. Well, we don't want to be back. We want to stay back. We want to stay up every time. So either way, this is it. We've done it for the day. Don't forget, 8 o'clock tonight, Florida versus UConn. We appreciate you listening today on the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. We will see you tomorrow. We're pumped up and ready to go.
You've read the headlines. You've seen the highlights. But how about the unfiltered truth?
Steroid era. You can like it, love it, hate it, whatever. It's safe baseball.
Since 2017, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has been the undisputed leader for sports coverage on the Panhandle. If it matters in sports, it matters to us, and it matters to you. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Tuesday. Clear tonight with very little wind and temps near 44. Tomorrow morning, we will have sunshine and a wind speed of 6 miles per hour and be quite warm at 63. Clear in the afternoon and evening and a high 66 with a moderate breeze. Sunshine Thursday with a temp of 59. Friday, the high will reach 68 with sunshine. This forecast is